Welcome back to Harry's Jeti Clinic on the gyro menus. This is episode 2. We saw in episode 1 basically how to get the gyro menus up and program in just one position of the gyro positioning switch. So here we are, position 1, position 2, position 3, and they're independent. Notice, however, of course, that having set up P8 as the tuning knob at position 1, it doesn't carry through to the other positions, and this gives us a big hint of some of the power that's available in this menu. For example, we've said that we'll pretend for the purpose of this external gyro that we're using, not an assist gyro, that the minus percentages are heading hold and the positive percentages are rate mode. So we can use this to set up both a heading mode and a rate mode, in the one flight. For example, we've set up P8 as our tuning knob in heading mode. So we take off at 0, we fly around, we go into heading mode, and we can tune, as you can see, the values. Remember, it's 30 plus or minus the value here, because that's what P8 can do to it. So you get 30 plus or minus the 20, so it goes from minus 10 to minus 50. Okay, so we've done that. You go into your rate mode and think, well, we need a tuning knob. Now the obvious knob that might come to mind is again P8, but this will give you problems. Let's look at why. So we swing P8, say OK, we'll give it the same sort of 20% value, around 30%, so that the two sides are mirrored basically. As you can see, minus 30 heading hold mode with P8 can change it by 20, and plus 30 plus or minus 20 from P8. Here's the problem having used P8 for both. Suppose you're flying around in your heading hold mode and you've been tuning the dial and you've decided that's where it works best, in heading hold mode, minus 40. Lovely. See the value there? That's the actual output, minus 40. So you switch that off and you go into your rate mode and you say, we'll swing that around, and I've got minus 26 is my optimum there. Problem is, P8's a control that keeps being read. So when you switch back to heading hold mode, it's now using the value that P8's at the moment, and it's no longer minus 40, it's minus 26. Or alternatively, have another think about this. You could be using this as your flap switch, or if you used a 2 position, could be your gear switch, and you want to tune a value at each position. And if you keep assigning P8 as the knob to do it, then as soon as you move to another position and turn the knob, you've lost the knob value in the previous position. Well, there's a lovely way around that. Remember, we can assign a tuning knob or device independently in each position. So we already set up position 1 with P8. Let's go and set up position 2, not with P8, but with P7, the other rotary knob. There we go. Say OK. Beautiful. And now, see, position 2, switch at middle, it's locked at the 0% knob. There's no tuning, and if there was no percent it could use anyway. Whereas this position 3, which is our rate mode, is now working off P7. So let's say that's, we'll give it the full 50% gain that way. We go to our heading hold mode, and I'll turn P7 to prove that nothing happens here. See, turning P7, nothing's happening. But if turn P8, there we go, 30. Now, so there we are. We've now got completely independent travels for each bit of the switch. And if you don't want a 0 point on your switch for some reason, you've got some other way of switching off your gyro, you can assign, values and a tuning knob and percentage to this one as well. You don't have to have it as your 0. We're just using that. Say I was using a Powerbox iGyro. And let's show it over here. This servo is emulating or showing the gain sent to the gyro. That's 0 at the off position. Here's position 1, our heading hold mode, back to off, and there's position 3, our rate mode. So they're all completely independent. And I'll just show you, we're in the rate mode, which is using P7. So I'll rotate P8 to prove that nothing's happening. If I rotate P7, you see we're affecting the gain. And I'll go over to the heading hold mode, which is the -%, using P8. See, P8 can affect the gain. I'll now rotate P7. No effect whatsoever. Goody good. So that's starting to look quite useful. As I say, maybe in the early days you would be using a switch like this, so you've got an off position, but having set it up, you can come back afterwards and read the values in there and then lock them in. How would you do that? Let's just imagine you are flying your plane around and you want 2 positions for your gyro with wheels up and wheels down, because you're going to assume that with wheels down you're going more slowly and you want a greater gain. And what's more, you want it all to be in rate mode, which we've said is, for the purpose of this demonstration, positive values. Well, how would you go about it? Let's see, you come into here, we'd go to +30, because we've said that with your gyro that's in the rate mode. We're happy with P8 as the tuning device. There's our off position, still +30. P7's our tuning device with the same amount of power. So you fly around, wheels are up, you tune your gain using P8, and you've chosen, you fly around and you fix it there, you're happy with that. Now you go to your wheels down and you use P7 to tune the gain with the wheels down. Lovely. And there we go. So with wheels down, we've got 37 as the output value, and with wheels up, we've got 22 as the output value, completely independently tuned. And you're happy with that, you want to lock it in. What do? Well, you just change this to that number there and remove these. So we can change that to 22. Don't worry about the output value changing, it's because this is still affecting it. 22, P8, clear it. Okay, take that out as well. And there we go. And now 22 is locked in. Go to your other setting, and you might think, oh, the way I did that, if you hadn't memorized that value, you've lost it. It's 37, but if you take these out first, you'll lose that value as well anyway. So just remember, 37 is the value you want. So we say 37, come across here, clear that. We'll remove that. I don't think it should be able to have any effect, does it? No, it can't, because there is no tuning knob, so changing that doesn't change that. But I like to be neat. You wouldn't believe that if you saw my workshop, but there we go. And that's it, it's locked in now. The values of 37 and 22. And what you could do, if you want now, of course, is go back to your original functions assignment and assign it to your gear switch. Okie doke. But you're still going to have some way of zeroing out the values. But you might be able to do that in the minus 100% mix of the gyro to itself. Right, that's 10 minutes up, so that's a convenient point to stop, and we'll come back in episode 3 to look at using the flight modes with it.